She's been called the clutch player by WNBA fans, and she was drafted to the W in 2022 with the Indiana Fever in the first round as a 6th pick. I'm talking about professional basketball player Lexie Hall. Lexie, thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Yeah, excited to be here. So you have basketball in your genes. Your grandfather played basketball, your dad, and you have a twin sister who you played basketball with growing up. What was it like growing up in that family dynamic? Well, we have a super competitive family, and having my dad play basketball collegiately knew that basketball was going to be put in my hands at an early age, but my parents were, super excited about having us try every sport imaginable. So yeah, we grew up, my sister and I, playing a little bit of everything. You set all sorts of records at Stanford, winning a national championship.
Can you talk about
the transition from leaving college basketball and moving into the WNBA? At least for me, it happened really, really quick. We finish up the Final Four, and then a week later the draft happens. And then a few days after that, packing up my dorm room and moving to the
Midwest.
So it was a big transition, especially moving someplace that I had no connections. Didn't know anybody there, didn't know anybody on my team. Coming in that year with a lot of rookies was really special. Coming in with people my age, people going through the same changes and transitions as me, I think really helped make it as easy as it could have been. The basketball part of the transition is really tough. Everybody out on the court was one of the best players on their college teams. Definitely the best player, likely, from their high school team.
So it's just this mishmash of the
best basketball players, and then you're playing against people that have been there for years. And years. The Indiana Fever had a history-making year. What was that like for you to be a part of that? I'm really grateful for the opportunity to not only play in the WNBA, but to be on a team like the Indiana Fever. I've seen so much growth, not only on the team side, how we're performing on the court, but also the growth in fans. I mean, on the road, it felt like home games were playing in sold-out arenas that we have not played in the last 2 years before that. So it's just really exciting. This is your 3rd season in the WNBA, and this year you got to be on the court with Caitlin Clark, and you also struck up a friendship with her. Can you talk about how important it is to have that camaraderie on and off the court? I think it was important to get to know her off the court because I do think that connections, getting to know people, really play a part in the success of teams. And it's really awesome to get to know her as well because she's a great person, but you have all these expectations put on her, and our team has put on her, and fans have put on her. So to see her kind of be so mature in that transition, it's been really awesome. And I'm just really proud to have her on the team, and it's been exciting. In a previous interview, you talked about struggling throughout the season. So what changed, and how are you able to turn the page so that the end of the season went a lot better? All of it comes down to trusting the process. And part of that process is making sure that the work's getting done. And at the beginning of the season, my playing time definitely looked different than it did at the end. So trusting that, I was staying ready, putting in the work so that when I did get the minutes out on the court, that I could take full advantage of them. So I was just really proud of myself for trusting the process and staying the course. In an interview, you said there are pros and cons of the growth in the WNBA. Can you talk a little bit about that? Pros, it's pretty obvious. We have people filling the stands. We have people cheering. We have people so excited for the individual success of the teams, but also the league as well as the players. So there's so many more eyes on the game. But I think along with that, we've seen, behavior by fans that is unacceptable. And there's growing pains, and we have to learn as we grow how to handle that. And I think as a league, we're learning the fact that people are talking about the WNBA. People are tuning into our games. That's what we want to hear. And that's only going to get us farther as we go on. Let's stick to transformation and progress in the WNBA. The WNBA Players Union opted out of the collective bargaining agreement. So what does transformation in the W look like to you? First and foremost, I think it's getting the compensation that we as players feel like we've earned. And that not only comes with, higher salaries but better benefits. Our travel's gotten so much better this past year now that we've started chartering. So I think that it's great now that we're going to have the opportunity to kind of be compensated for everything that we do as players. What's your advice for young girls who are thinking of dropping out of sport? I would say don't do it. I think, a lot of girls go in waves of loving the sport. Sports have given me so much in life. It has given me so much opportunity. It paid for my college education at a university like Stanford that I'm eternally grateful for.
So I
Think there's a sport out there for everyone. I'm going to take it back to fits. We've been seeing so much great fashion in the tunnel locks with the WNBA. And you and Erica Wheeler started swapping outfits. So where did that idea come from? Our styles are so drastically different. So we were just joking like, I wonder what it would look like if you could pull it off. And the first outfit was something so outside of what I would have ever picked out of my closet. And I'm like, that's not going to look good on me. Like, all right, let's try. So then I tried it on and everyone was like, you pull it off, you pull it off. So then it just became part of the pregame tradition. And it's a really fun, lighthearted way to just, get us in the mood to play. Talk a little bit about off-season and some of the options that professional basketball players like yourself have outside of going overseas. We've got the unrivaled league coming up. So can you talk a little bit how the importance of that? Coming into the league, there was so much pressure to play overseas during the off-season, not only because you had to figure out a way to supplement your income, but also because coaches and GMs wanted you to continue playing. So Athletes Unlimited and Unrivaled are two really great options for players.
and
Unrivaled is launching this year. So excited to see how that all plays out and cheer everybody on. Lexie, this has been a great interview and thanks so much for joining us. Thank you. Subscribe the channel.